Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Imagine a man who claims to have taken over 500 lives, not out of rage or ideology, but for money. A man who called his work a business and saw himself as a professional. This is the chilling story of Julio Santana, one of Brazil's most infamous contract killers. His life offers a terrifying window into a world where murder is a commodity and justice is for sale. Who was this man, and how could such a career even be possible? Let's unravel the story of the man they called the Angel of Death. First, let's get the big number out of the way. Julio Santana himself claimed to have killed over 500 people across several decades. It's a staggering figure, and it's important to state up front that this number has never been independently verified. Brazilian authorities confirm he was a prolific murderer, but the 500 plus count comes from Santana's own mouth, not official court records. Criminals often exaggerate to build their own dark legends, but even if the real number was half that, it would still place him among the most active killers in modern history. He operated primarily in the sprawling urban landscapes of Rio de Janeiro and its surrounding regions. This was during a time when Brazil was grappling with rampant organized crime, deep-rooted corruption, and a law enforcement system that was often outmatched or complicit. In this chaotic environment, a man like Santana could not only survive but thrive. So why the nickname, the Angel of Death? It sounds almost poetic, which makes it even more disturbing. Santana cultivated this image himself. In interviews, he described his approach as calm, methodical, and completely emotionless. He saw himself as a professional providing a service. He claimed he had rules, he never killed children, and tried to avoid causing unnecessary suffering. To him, it wasn't about cruelty. It was a transaction. This self-portrait of a detached, efficient killer helped build his myth, but we have to be skeptical. This could also be a calculated way for a violent criminal to rationalize his actions and control his own narrative. To understand how someone like Julio Santana could exist, you have to understand the Brazil of his time. His rise wasn't an isolated event. It was enabled by a perfect storm of societal problems. Extreme income inequality created a vast pool of desperate people. Powerful criminal organizations held more sway in some areas than the government itself. Corruption was widespread, reaching into police departments and political offices, creating a system where justice could be bought and sold. Add to that a weak witness protection program and overcrowded prisons that functioned more like criminal universities than rehabilitation centers. In this context, the demand for hitmen, or pistoleros, was high. They were hired for all sorts of reasons: settling gang disputes, intimidating political rivals, resolving bitter land conflicts, carrying out personal revenge, or silencing witnesses who knew too much. Santana claimed his client list was a who's who of the underworld and the corrupt elite, including drug traffickers, crooked businessmen, and even politicians. He was a tool used by the powerful to maintain their power, a deadly symptom of a deeply sick system. According to police records and his own confessions, Santana's career followed a grim but predictable path. He started as a low-level enforcer, likely just another tough guy in a violent world, but he quickly built a reputation for being reliable and efficient. Unlike many gang soldiers who are loyal to one group, Santana often worked as an independent contractor, which gave him more flexibility and a wider range of clients. His primary tool was the firearm, and his targets were usually strangers, which made the act of killing easier. There was no emotional connection, just a job to be done. The pay structure also reflected his growing reputation. Early in his career, he might have been paid small sums, just enough to get by. But as his notoriety grew, so did his price tag. Later, he could command thousands of dollars for a single killing. This progression from cheap muscle to high-end assassin is a common pattern seen in the world of professional contract killing. Eventually, the law caught up with him. Santana was arrested, convicted of multiple murders, and sentenced to spend decades behind bars. But his story didn't end there. In fact, it's from prison that his legend truly went global. He began giving interviews, and it was during these conversations that he made his shocking claim of over 500 kills. He expressed no remorse, speaking about murder as if it were a learned skill like carpentry or plumbing. He died in prison in the late 2010s, reportedly from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of violence and a cloud of unanswered questions. So, should we believe his kill count? Criminologists and experts urge caution. There are many reasons to doubt the number. Over decades, memory can become distorted, ego plays a huge role. He had an incentive to appear as the most feared and prolific killer, and of course there's a lack of forensic evidence to confirm hundreds of these alleged crimes. However, no one doubts that he was an exceptionally busy hitman. Even the most conservative estimates from authorities place him among Brazil's most lethal known killers. The exact number is almost secondary to the horrifying reality he represents. The real impact of Santana's story isn't just about the man himself. It's about what his career exposed about the society that created him. First, it revealed a catastrophic failure of the state. It showed an inability to protect its own citizens, a criminal justice system too weak to bring killers to justice, and a web of corruption that actively shielded them. Second, his story highlights the normalization of violence. When murder becomes a paid service, life itself is devalued and reduced to a simple economic calculation. Is a person's life worth a few hundred or a few $1,000s? In Santana's world, the answer was yes. Finally, his story touches on the role of media sensationalism. Santana became a dark legend, a kind of real-life boogeyman. There's always a risk in telling these stories that we might unintentionally glamorize the criminal. It's a fine line to walk, and sadly, many of the issues that allowed Santana to flourish, inequality, corruption, and systemic violence, are problems that Brazil continues to grapple with today. From a psychological perspective, experts suggest Santana likely exhibited traits like extreme emotional detachment and what's known as moral disengagement. This is the ability to switch off one's moral compass to perform acts that would normally be unthinkable. He used instrumental violence, that is, violence as a tool to achieve a goal, in his case payment. He probably had antisocial personality traits, but that's not the same as being insane. He knew exactly what he was doing. The most crucial point is this: he wasn't just an impulsive monster acting alone. He was a system-enabled killer, a product of his environment. So why does the story of Julio Santana still matter? It's not because of the shocking, unverified number he claimed. He is important because his life is a case study of what happens when violence becomes a commodity. He shows us what happens when extreme inequality fuels a thriving market for crime, when the state loses its monopoly on force, and when terrifying myths grow in the shadows. Where justice has failed, the core insight here is a sobering one. Julio Santana was not a monster born in isolation. He was a product of a society where, for many, killing someone became a cheaper, easier, and more effective solution than seeking justice through the proper channels. His story is a powerful reminder that the most dangerous individuals are often forged in the failures of the systems meant to protect us all. Thank you for watching. If you found this exploration into the dark side of human nature interesting, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into complex true crime stories. Stay safe out there.